original. I am not the same as these cats. I sting them if they never ever mind and they beeswax. I don't ever cap, but I'm wearing like 3 hats. Never been a rat, but I know where the cheese at. You'll never get a trophy cause they all here where we at. You better believe that. When it's all said and done, I'll still be here standing. Never took a loss and it ain't something that I'm planning. I dare you to say something, my focus is A1. Every dog has its day, it's been mine since day one. This is real grinding, I'm still climbing. While you still trying, I'm still shining. It's real blinding, and I'm getting hotter too. Talking top 2, I'm not a 2. You let the pressure bother you when I do what I gotta do. Let's go hard. Coming close to me, flow is on atomic. I'm starting fires through poetry. The heart is out, staying loyal, no falling out. And if you step into the court, be ready, we ballin' out. Yeah, the coldest of teens, they know what we bring. Don't try us, ain't no in between. We go for these dreams in silence. Hard work, don't mistake it for magic. We been shooting in the gym, this is target and practice. Yeah. And I'm just getting started, getting feet wet. It's all in repetition, ain't a secret. All facts, all black dress code. Pay me my respect, collecting every debt. I go the hardest, I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard, go hard. Go hard. Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Yeah. Oh yeah, the beast back. Adrenaline pumping through my veins, can't relax. Original, I am not the same as these cats. I sting them if they never ever mind and they beeswax. I don't ever cap, but I'm wearing like 3 hats. Never been a rat, but I know where the cheese at. You'll never get a trophy cause they all here where we at. You better believe that. When it's all said and done, I'll still be here standing. Never took a loss and it ain't something that I'm planning. I dare you to say something, my focus is A1. Every dog has its day, it's been mine since day one. This is real grinding, I'm still climbing. While you still trying, I'm still shining. It's real blinding, and I'm getting hotter too. Talking top 2, I'm not a 2. You let the pressure bother you when I do what I gotta do. Let's go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. They ain't coming close to me. Flow is on atomic. I'm starting fires through poetry. The heart is out, staying loyal, no falling out. And if you
Hey you guys, happy Friday. How are we today? Hold on, I'm gonna change my camera angle. How are we today? We gonna change it a little bit more. I'll make sure you guys can see me. All right. I know it's been a while since I have been live. It seemed like it's been forever today. Can you guys hear me really good? I don't see anything in chat, so. Can you guys hear me? Hey, Christy, how are we today? Let me grab the instructions and all of my fabric. I'm saying all my fabric, but you know, you get my drift. Woohoo! Y'all, it feels good to be back. I'm not going to go front. I'm not going to go lie. It feels so good to be back. All right, let me grab these instructions before I get started. I'm sewing a pair of pants. All right, Christy said that I'm good to go. She can hear me. That's what's up. I'm doing good. Hey, Shawi. All right. So today, you guys, I am sewing up the classic pattern of the summer, Simplicity 9756. Now, I feel like I have done so many button-down shirts for sew-alongs, or what I should say is like lives. So I decided to go with the pants as the starting point, and then next week start working on the top, to where by next weekend, hopefully next weekend, depending on how my schedule look, I could take photos as a dress up, dress down, and show you guys what this turns out to be. So that's the plan. Let's go ahead and sew the pants together. Yeah, let's go ahead and sew these pants together. It seems like it's going to be a quick sew. I'm kind of so excited about it. So I'm just going to move my sewing machine back because I don't want to go back and forth to the table. And let's see what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to try to follow the instructions, but y'all know how I am. I get to skipping around. All right, so let me get my pencil. All right, so listen, you guys. Hey, Mo. Good to see you, boo. These pants have been cut out for almost a year. The pants. The top I cut out, I want to say back in May, I think. March or May of this year. So I just feel like this has been cut out so long to the point where it's just asking for me to go ahead and sew it up as the end of summer. Outside of this, I do not have anything in the bin, and I'm going to show you guys. I think maybe one. Let me show you. So outside of what I have up here, I have nothing really in this bin other than some muslin fabric. So some white muslin and some like tan and actual muslin fabric. So I did very well getting a total of 10 projects done. Majority of them you have seen. Outside of that jacket, which I showed you guys on the last live, I didn't finish. I will show you what else I have sewn. I just have not taken pictures for it before we get started. I'm actually going to show the pattern to you guys. So I worked on this pattern right here, which is Simplicity 3105. Yes, I have it in PDF, and the only thing that needs to be done is photos. So this is what it looks like. It's completely done. I have not photographed in these pants or have worn these pants yet. So when I say I have been sewing behind the scenes, I have been sewing behind the scenes. I just have not been posting, editing, filming, taking photos. I have not been doing any of that in the last 3 weeks. So I still got to photograph this one. It may be this weekend, maybe next week. I don't know because I have to get on my daughter's schedule. Okay. Another thing that I went ahead and sewed up. I'm just gonna bring the dress form to show you guys. Let me move this chair. All right, so I did this top right here, which is Butterick 7001. I completed that. That's done. So this is going to go with some bottoms, which is the black bottoms that I sewed up. The pants, I'm just going to kind of share all of them now. These pants is going to go with the top. It's not, I just don't think that I would wear them together like this, except for lounging. So I just want to make sure you know that. I also did I guess you could call it a hack, but I never shared this with you guys. It's been hiding on the other dress form, y'all. Yeah, like I said, your girl's been busy. Let me move the other one out of the way. All right. All right, so this is this one, right? Move that one out the way and show you guys this one, right? So this pattern is Simplicity 9740. It is a Mimi G dress that I cut at the belly button and made it just a top. So this is what it looks like. So I plan on wearing this top with the pants right here. And then also this top with the pants that I'm making right now. And then the blouse with some black pair of pants. So yeah, I guess you could say that your girl had a vision when she did this. I really didn't, but I can see it all pairing together very well. So I have been sewing behind the scene. I just wanted to share that with you guys, so you guys don't think like your girl ain't sewing behind the scenes. I just haven't photographed, which is why I have not shared it on the channel, but hope to share before the end of the summer, because honestly, your girl is ready to get into fall sewing. And I have already had some things that I wanted to do. Mo, to answer your question, today I am sewing the pants of Simplicity 9756. I feel like this pattern has been a hot pattern this summer. Mine been cut out for over a year. So it's time for me to sew it up. Alright, so Mo, 3108. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. It is part of my fall sewing plans and what I will be sewing up within the next 2 weeks. That's the plan, to go ahead and sew that pattern up, which is Simplicity 3108, the pants and the vest. I shared that on an Instagram post on what I planned on either doing that pattern or McCall's 8585. So I decided on Simplicity 3108. That's where I landed, and that's where I'm going to stay, because the other pieces will mix and match very well. And you guys know I'm all about making separates to maximize my work wardrobe, but also outside of work, I love to wear, I wouldn't say work attire, but I like to mix and match my work attire with my out of work attire, if that makes sense. Thank you, Shawi, for loving that fabric. Hey, Patricia, My Embellished Life. Yeah, Mo, you doing the pattern that I am planning on doing, that is the first piece in my fall collection. I'll be sharing, I plan on doing an entire batch cutting, and I know you guys may not be batch cutters, which is perfectly fine. I'm not trying to, sell you on batch cutting, but it works for me only because as a busy, oh Lord, I don't even want to say this, But as a busy mom, a band mom, a wife, a cook, you know, business for professional, you know what I mean? All those things, I have to maximize my time with sewing. So if I could spend a week of just batch cutting, let's say 6 to 8 projects, one cut a day, and then the next week sew them up, it just works that much better for myself. So when I batch cut, I can tell you that I'm not batch cutting like 3 or 4 patterns in a day. I do not do that because I don't have time in a day to do that, not even on the weekends, right? With all the events and stuff that's getting ready to take place with school starting. So what I tend to do, well, moving forward, what I plan on doing is cutting anywhere from 6 to 8 projects, no more than 12. And then I'm just going to be sewing those over the course of several weeks. So, and of course, it's going to take me about a week to cut that many patterns and fabric. And you guys, I hate cutting patterns. I can't stand cutting fabric. So I just want to get that stuff out the way and just get back to what I love to do, and that's sew. So I hope you understand that. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and get into sewing up these pants. So I went ahead, now this part I probably have to do at my table, but I moved the sewing machine back a little bit to try to get this, you know, on camera as much as possible. And the first thing I'm going to do, if you are sewing this pattern with me or you have the pattern, whichever one you want to do, we're going to sew the front and the back inseam, which is the inner portion of your legs, together first. I went ahead and labeled the pattern pieces so I don't get confused on what's the front and what's the back. Here's my pants. Here we go. So Mo, let me know how Simplicity 3108 goes for you when you close to being finished or finished. Because I know Shauna ORL to ATL sewed that pattern up this summer. C sewed that pattern up this summer. Eris sewed that pattern up this summer. Like, that was a hot pattern this summer. And y'all, when I looked at that pattern, Simplicity 3108, I was like, oh yeah, I definitely have to make this for work. And I'm doing mine in a linen fabric. It's like this, it's like a plum. Even though it showed up on camera as like a pinkish purple, it's not. It is like a plum color. And y'all, I love it. That's all I can say. All right, so I have pattern piece number 11, which is the back. I'm going to put pattern piece number 10 on top. Of that, let me see. I have made all my adjustments already, so I'm just like ready to sew. All right, so I'm going to put 10 over 11, and I'm going to pin the inseams, which is the first thing that you're going to need to do. So yeah, I know everyone came full force for me. I was like, girl, you've been gone for like 3 weeks. So what's been going on? Talk to me or whatnot. And honestly, y'all, it's like I can't fake coming to y'all to sew when things behind the scene is not up to par. So for context, it has nothing to do with sewing. It has everything to do with personal life. And y'all know I don't share a lot of personal stuff on this channel whatsoever, but it's just, you know, like, hey, I had some stuff behind the scenes that happened that I had to control what I can control, and things that was out of my control. It's just, you know, you get off of work, and when you get off of work, you just had no energy because they just drained your energy, right? So basically, instead of me like reflecting that energy to you guys, I just stayed away for a little while to gather my thoughts, you know, all that good stuff, to where I could rest, relax, get the rest that I need to be better when I come back to the scene. And basically, that's what happened. That's it. Nothing no one did or anything like that per se. But yeah, that's basically what happened. Alright, so I'm going to sew the inseam of one of the pants leg. I have my serger on, and I'm going to be using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Yes, Christy. So, like, to your point and to answer what you typed, like, I'm one that's like, I got, like, if I'm coming doing a video, I gotta be happy. I gotta be in a good headspace. I have to be good. And I say this all the time, like, you can look at so many people's video, but you know something is off when they say something and don't sound like themselves, right? So I could view a video that I have been watching someone for a very long time, and their energy is different for some reason. You're gonna be like, something wrong, something ain't right. So instead of just, you know, try to fake the funk on camera, it wasn't gonna be no fake in here or anything. I just kind of like stayed away to kind of like get my thoughts back together before coming, you know, full force, having that, you know, good personality and everything for the camera. I know some people could like fake how they're feeling behind the scene on camera, but I'm telling you, it will show. Because I tried it. I filmed a complete video, and I was editing. I started editing, and I was like, dang, this don't even sound like me. So, but I tell you what, y'all favorite friend, aka my husband, right? Y'all favorite friend. He was like, dog, it's been like 2 weeks and you haven't did a video. And I asked him, I was just like, are you upset I haven't done a video? He was like, no, I ain't upset, but that's unlike you. But y'all, in 5 years, I've been on this platform for 5 years, and tell me why I look back and notice I have never taken a break more than like, I'm going to be honest, 6 days. And that was last year in September. I took 6 days from the channel. But to take 3 weeks, I see why everybody was reaching out like, hey, girl, you all right? And I do appreciate things like that when people reach out to me and be like, girl, you all right? Look, gifts extraordinary. I am good. Like, I feel good. I'm so glad to be back, honestly. It's just, hey, we need a break sometimes. And I just needed a break. For those of you who don't know, I don't do YouTube for the sake of money whatsoever. It's just basically just sharing what I know and my knowledge with you guys. It's honestly what it is. And honestly, I'm just happy to be back. Happy to be back. Alright, so I have one of the inseam sewn. I'm going to do the other one as well. It's the same thing that I just did to this one. And then I'm going to do the pocket. Well, since I have this one on, no, actually. I would say I would go ahead and put the pockets on, but I'm just going to wait just real quick. I went ahead and searched, y'all can't see that, but I went ahead and searched the inseam. Now I'm going to do that for the other pant leg. So I'm going to move my sewing machine back a little bit so I can pin again. What I'm trying to do when I'm like on live is utilize my table right here instead of going back and forth to my table over there, because you guys can't see. And I did not hook that camera up this time around. Only because I know I have to film a sew along pretty soon. I have a sew along in mind that I want to film, so I just tend to want to leave the camera the way it is. Because I have to take the Logitech camera down and put up the GoPro camera to film the top down view, so I just tend to try to leave that area over there with no issues. Alright, so I'm pinning this other part. Right, Christy? Like, this one has been in my stash forever. This fabric came from Houseofmamiwwata. I purchased originally, this is the second go around with this fabric, Christy. I originally purchased 6 yards of this fabric. Made this entire set. When I say this is the second time that I am doing this set, let me rephrase that. I did the top. And the top that I did, the button-down shirt, it fit. Don't get me wrong. But I just feel like with that one, it needed to be a little bit more looser. So I gave it to my sister and purchased the same fabric because I want this fabric for this pattern. And I was like, I'm just going to buy it again. So I bought it again, and this time around I bought 9 yards. I have the pants, the button-down shirt, and the halter top cut out. Now, here's the thing. The halter top is cut out, but I'm pretty sure that I am not going to sew it this summer. If I decide to get to it by spring, it'll still be in the stash. But I just know I'm not going to wear it this summer because I wouldn't say I'm all summered out, but after this set, I don't think that I want to sew anything summer, even though it's still hot here in Florida. But I think that I'll be good on the summer. It's time to switch to fall or pre-fall stuff, in my opinion. Just my opinion, all right? All right, so I'm going to sew this other pant leg. Well, I said pants leg, inseam for the pants. And for reference, the pattern that I am sewing up is this one for those of you guys who just joined me. Simplicity 9756. I'm just going, well, outside, that has been one of the patterns this summer. But one of the patterns that took over the summer is Simplicity 3108. I have mentioned this just a few minutes ago, but I'll mention it again. That pattern is definitely on my fall, winter sewing plans. So I can't wait to sew it up because I think that the vest and the pants on that pattern is gorgeous. Now I'm going to be 100% honest. I'm not interested in that skirt. That skirt is massively long for my short legs. And yes, I'm saying short legs because everyone thinks that I am super tall. You guys, I am only 5'6", okay? I say that and you guys like, what? You only 5'6"? Your photos make you look tall. My photos, thanks to my daughter, my photos make me look tall, but your girl is average height. I am average height. so I have both pants leg done. It is time for me to go ahead and do the crotch seams. All right. Christy, when's your kids' birthdays? All right, so I'm gonna start sewing up the crotch seam. Let me scoot this back a little bit so I could. So I am now sewing up this crotch seam right here. All right, so I'm going to first look and see where my the back, to make sure that my seam allowance is facing the back. Now my back is number 11, I believe. Let me make sure. Yes, number 11. So you want to make sure that your inseam that you just finished, now normally press them for sure, but mine is already pressed. I pressed all of my fabric before I got started. Saved me time, all right? So I'm going to make sure that my inseam is, or my seam allowance is to the back, which is to my left instead of to my right. So if you marked your pieces, you will know what side is the back. So I'm just going to pin all the way around that U, which is the inseam, and then sew it together using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Ooh, okay. Well, happy belated birthday to your kiddos, Christine. Are we in Leo season right now? August, Leos. Do we have any Leos in the building? All right. So have anyone else sewed up this pattern before? Yes, they're Leos. Kirsty, are they twins? Oof, I'm dropping pins and stuff. Well, I'll pick that one up when I'm done. Have anyone else sewed Simplicity 9756? I know this pattern is about 2 years old, I believe. Yeah, this pattern came out spring 2023. All right, so I have it pinned. Now I'm going to sew the inseams together using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. So let me bring my sewing machine back. So since you did it yesterday, how did it turn out? Any tips, tricks, straightforward pattern? What's your thoughts? Oh, okay. So you did this pattern last summer. Christy, well, happy birthday to your 16-year-old. Well, happy belated birthday to your 16-year-olds. Yeah, so with this pattern, Simplicity 9756, this is the first time that I have sewn the pants. I have done the button-down shirt, like I mentioned before. I went ahead and did it for myself. However, I gave it to my sister because I feel like the even though it was loose fitting, I just felt like the bust could have been a little bit bigger for me, because I wanted to use it as like I could wear it as a dress with some heels, or I could wear it as just a normal slouchy button down shirt, but it wasn't given that because I just feel like it was a little, not necessarily tight, it just wasn't loose fitted in the bust area. And my older sister is a little bit smaller than me. I'm saying a little bit, but that's being generous for myself. But she's much smaller than me, to be 100% exact. And it fit her like a glove, so she was happy to get another outfit that I made. She lucky. She lucky. She lucky. She my sister. Now I'm gonna go ahead and serge that crotch seam. Oh, and for reference, I cut a size 18 on this pattern. The only adjustment that I made to the size 18 is making sure it fits in the hip, because your girl got a badonkadonk, so I have to accommodate for all that assets, okay? And it's it's just like a normal adjustment that I always have to make, is to accommodate for the assets, you know? So, yeah. I don't know, like, for me, there's not many patterns that I could just sew straight off the package with no adjustments. But if you can do that, y'all, I'm going to be every bit of jelly, okay? If y'all could do that. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and start working on the pockets, which is pattern piece number 12. I'm going to put the pockets on the front and pockets on the back. And like I said, like, this is considered, I think, an average to sew pattern. I think it's only average to sew for the sake of the button-down shirt, but the pants, to me, it just seems pretty straightforward and simple to sew. Now, for reference, I am using a white Crayola colored pencil just to mark the numbers. I get asked this when I do sew-alongs, but it's just like a Crayola color pencil. So, and listen, y'all, I'm not going to buy, you're not going to be able to buy like these white things, white coloring pencils by themselves. So you got to buy your kid, or if you don't have any kids, or your kid's grown, buy them when they're on sale during school time. Buy like a box of like 8 or 16, just pull out the whites, give your kids, your grandbabies, or whatever the other colors. That's just a little trick. I buy them when they're 50 cents, but I also get the ones that are in a bigger box. I shared it in my Amazon haul. I want to say I got them back in March, but I'm going to share it again with you guys. This comes in a pack of 48. And this is what they look like. And this is what it looks like. It's water erasable pencil. So if you're looking for like a white pencil, you can get it off of Amazon too. They're It's 48M. So I'll drop the link in the description box below after this live. So you guys could have that if you are interested in like just getting some white pencils to use to mark dark colored fabric. Yeah. If that serger just did not scare the living bejesus out of me, I don't know what did. Alright. I rolled up on the serger foot. I was like, what the heck is that? Alright. Let's see where we got in the chat. So, Shawty, what can't you do? Just trying to figure out what you're referring to. Mo. It's always, you know, for me, that's like a standard adjustment for like all the patterns that I do. That's pants. I always have to make like a hip adjustment because my waist and my hips are like 15 inches apart. Almost 15 inches apart. So that's why I say I always have to accommodate for the assets. Not the waist, but the assets. And these hips don't be lying at all. I think if I was to get, see, it's the kids, right? I know my kids are like not little, so I can't use, oh, you know, that's just the kids. But I'm going to use it anyway. Ever since I had my kiddos, I just can't lose weight in the booty. You know what I'm saying? Like, the booty area just be bootylicious by this point. But anyway, enough said there, right? So yeah, that's where we at. Oh, Shaw, I got you, Shaw. Yeah, I don't know many patterns where I could just sew out of the package. All right, Jamaica in the house. I got you, Jamaica, Jamaica. Love it. Well, nice to see you, and thank you so much for catching my live. Speaking of Jamaica, yeah, happy Independence Day to y'all. But Kizzy, y'all, she had me cracking up with her little skip that she did for Happy Independence Day. Kizzy's silly. Shai said it best. Yes. Okay, so she said the booty and the thighs. And the small fries. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. All right, listen. So I say the booty is like, if you look at the chicken, right, you got the thighs, right? Those chicken got those big old thighs. Listen, I got those big thighs, right? Ham hocks, the assets, right? Then you got chicken breast. You get my drift, right? So the only thing that's small on the chicken is what? You got it. You got it. You know what I'm going to say? The only thing that's small on the chicken is what? When people be like, I love what is it? Those drumettes? Can I get a wing? Oh, man. All right, I'm sewing up these pockets. I'm sewing the pockets to the front first, and then I'm going to serge the side seams of the pocket and the pants. Now, I am using 3/8 of an inch just to sew my pocket on, but I know the instructions probably say 1/4 of an inch. Actually, I'm going to tell you guys right because I just like to sew mine on at 3/8. Nope, it says With right sides together, pin pockets to pants, matching large dots, having raw edges even, and stitch in 3/8. Yo, I was right without even looking at the instructions. But no, like seriously, I always do 3/8 when I'm sewing the pockets onto the side, because that's what works for me. A fourth of an inch just doesn't work for me when I'm sewing on pockets to the pants. I'm saying like when I first put them on, not attaching the front to the back or anything. It just never works with a fourth of an inch. So I just always do 3/8, and it works for me. But this pattern also says 3/8. If you are following along with me, we are on step number 3. All right, so I have the front one on. I'll go ahead and serge that in just a minute. I'm going to serge all the pockets at the same time. So now I'm doing the other front pocket, sewing it on at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and put the back ones on. Back pockets on one. So the front ones are on. This is what it looks like so far. Now time to do the back. Make sure you are putting them on the right portion of the back. I got to make sure, because you don't want to be putting pockets on the wrong way. Alright, so this is the top. Flip it over and do the bottom. The other side. Make sure. Hold on, let me. Alright. Yep, there we go. Hold on. Flip it up, and this is the back. Gotta make sure. Check my numbers. Alright, so my number 12s are here. Alright, so I have a question for you guys. What is your go-to meal? Like, go-to food for comfort. I should say, like, yeah, comfort food. What's your go-to dish for comfort food? Let me know. I want to see what you guys will say for comfort food. Because I think mine is going to be the one where it's like, what? Chicken Alfredo? Okay. Yeah, she said chicken Alfredo. I'm going to tell y'all a little story about chicken Alfredo. First, before I tell the story of chicken Alfredo, Shawty, what state do you live in? I don't know if I told the story before, but it's funny. It's gonna be a funny story about one of my siblings and chicken Alfredo. Okay, so good. All right, so Shawty, I am going to tell y'all about this chicken Alfredo story. All right, so one of my siblings, y'all know I have 8 sisters and 2 brothers. So one of my sisters, right? She just moved. Not this. She's been in Texas for over 20 years. Okay, so this is one of my sisters. I have two sisters in Texas, but she moved to Texas, and one guy that she was dating at this time, he told her, "Hey, you want some chicken spaghetti?" And she was like, "What's that?" Never heard of chicken spaghetti or anything. And she was like, "Hey sis, I'm getting ready to make some chicken spaghetti." I said, "Chicken who?" She said, "Chicken spaghetti." I was like, "Well, how the heck do you make chicken spaghetti? I have never heard of chicken spaghetti." Now, mind you, this was about 15 years ago. And she said, "Well, you take the chicken and the spaghetti noodles, you boil the noodles, you know how you normally make spaghetti, right? You boil the noodles, let them get soft. Then you take some cooked chicken, shred it up, and you put it in a container, like a Pyrex dish, and you put some white sauce on it." I said, "Wait, not spaghetti sauce? White sauce?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Sis, that's chicken Alfredo." That is not a damn chicken spaghetti. What the heck? You just using spaghetti noodles. That's chicken Alfredo. And she was like, "What? What is chicken Alfredo?" I was like, "Who told you that that is chicken spaghetti?" She was like, "That's what they eat here in Texas. Chicken spaghetti." Girl, that is chicken Alfredo all day long. Chicken Alfredo. So let me ask you guys this, who eats chicken Alfredo? Yo, Christy. Okay, so listen. What is the difference of chicken Alfredo and chicken spaghetti? Because do they both use white sauce, or one use like a marinara sauce and one use a white sauce? Because she said that they use white sauce, some spaghetti, and some chicken. And I guess you season it or whatever you do. What else is in chicken spaghetti? I have never made it, never ate it, so I'm just asking for a friend. Because I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big fan of chicken Alfredo. But my daughter loves chicken Alfredo. Sorry, I told you that story is crazy. Hey, Ebony. So, okay, so Christy, I get, the Rochelle, but she said they use like a white sauce. Is it the blanc, like the queso blanco Velveeta's cheese sauce? Or, I mean, like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm asking for a friend because, baby, I don't know. Shawi, the next time you make some chicken Alfredo, chicken Alfredo, you go think of the story of the chicken spaghetti, and you can be like, should I make chicken spaghetti or should I make some chicken Alfredo? Every time I hear chicken Alfredo, I literally be thinking of the story my sister told me, and I was like, I'm just thinking like chicken spaghetti is like with the red sauce, like a marinara sauce. But I learned something new every day. Anybody else have tried like chicken spaghetti, chicken Alfredo, or anything like that? Oh, okay, regional. All right. All right, so the question that I asked for those of you guys who just came in is, what is your go-to comfort food? And I'm gonna tell y'all mine. Mine, low key, outside of ice cream, is my comfort food when I'm just like in a, like, I'm tired, I'm irritated or whatever. It is always going to be like a Blizzard from Dairy Queens or ice cream. But food wise, I'm not saying dessert. Food wise, it will always be spaghetti. Now, don't judge me. This is a no judgment zone, right? Unless you subscribed. I'm wrong for that. You can judge me. That's fine. But it's going to be spaghetti with not what is it? Not the garlic bread, but I like my spaghetti with hella butter and garlic, like butter on cornbread. But the cornbread has to be hot water cornbread. Don't ask me why. But if you from the South, like Louisiana, hot water cornbread, yeah. Yes, it has to be hot water cornbread. That's my comfort food. Christy, I know what you mean because you know my son is on the spectrum, and when I say picky eater, like tonight, I made pot stickers for dinner. He's not gonna eat pot stickers only because of texture, so he decided that he was gonna eat a toaster strudel instead. My thing is, as long as he's eating, I'm good. But sometimes I have to make something different for the kid. I have to pick my battles. And that's just one that I'm just not going to win at. So I don't even try. Just as long as he's eating what he says that he wants, I'm good with. But I make sure he eats his vegetables or his fruits. I'm telling you, that spaghetti and that hot water cornbread. I'm telling you. But you know what? I know like the hot water cornbread is very, very, very known in like Texas, Louisiana. I think some parts of New Mexico does that. And it's another state. Maybe Mississippi. But like that deep, deep. Yeah. Now, I'm from California. Y'all know that. We made hot water cornbread, but I'm just gonna say like I think my great grandmother marinated that from Texas because she is from I'm saying she's passed, but she's from New Orleans, Louisiana, and every Sunday Big Mama would definitely make some hot water cornbread. Like, I feel like it was always going to be some fried cabbage. Well, not every Sunday, I should say. But right after church, she would make like hot water cornbread. You're going to have your fried cabbage and all of that stuff. Those were the good old days. So that's why I try to cook on Sundays. Cheese on pizza? Man, come on now. Cheese on pizza is good. Oh, so Ebony, meatloaf and cornbread, I'm with you. Yes, I will do that. Like I said, it's a no judgment zone. Just throw it in there. We can talk about it. Talk about it. No cheese on pizza. So how is she eating the pizza? I'm saying are she? Is she eating it like just sauce, no cheese? Like how? How is she eating her pizza? Okay, listen. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. Ebony, you make me hungry talking about red beans and cornbread. Listen. I probably do this every 2 weeks. But my crew, the hub and kids, they let us. I call it the quick. During the week, I be trying to make 30-minute meals in and out. Because y'all know I'm busy as hell during the week, right? So with that being said, what I tend to do with my 30-minute meals, red beans and rice. So what I do is I take the kidney beans. Instead of using white rice, I use the seasoned yellow rice. I think it's by Vigo. I think is who makes the package of yellow rice. Sometimes I'll use the white rice, like the jasmine rice, and put saffron in it to make it yellow, and then season it myself. It just depends on how I'm feeling. And then I put smoked sausage. bell peppers and onions. Saute those bell peppers and onions. Throw in your sausage for that fat. And eat it like that. My daughter, never let any leftover because she a garbage disposer with that meal. And then put some cornbread with it. Chow. Chow, 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 chow. You can't tell me nothing. Ooh, fried cabbage. Baby. Okay, Christy, pepperoni sauce. Okay, I like that. I like that. I can do that. Now, I gotta have my cheese, but I could do pepperoni and sauce. So let's drop it in the comment. What's your favorite pizza that you eat? Ebony says she needs that in her life. Some fried cornbread. Not fried cornbread, fried cabbage, my bad. And cornbread, man. Alright, so I am done. Just sewing on the pockets to the side. I'm going to attach the front to the back at the side seams. Let me go ahead and get positioned back in my chair. Move this sewing machine back. And I'm actually going to stand up a little bit on this one to make sure that I am that's that. Oh, you gotta be effing kidding me. Okay. Good deal. Check this out. Why did I sew the pockets on one? I did not serge, thank goodness. I told you that got me. This is where the seam ripper comes in hand. I sewed it to the hem of the pants. It was the first two that I put on, but I did not serge it, thank goodness. I tell you, sometimes you gotta check over yourself before you get the serging, because I would have been mad. I'm not gonna even front. We just gonna take them down from the hem and put them where they need to go. So Mo, one thing I found out about commercials or whatever, I don't put those in. YouTube does that themselves on these lives, so I do apologize about that, you guys. But my husband was saying the same thing. He was like, yo, I be getting commercials on your lives or whatever. YouTube does that themselves. That's not me. YouTube decides where these commercials are placed or whatever. Videos, they decide all of that themselves. Okay, so on my favorite pizza outside of course pepperoni, I like a chicken barbecue pizza. Like barbecue sauce, some chicken. I'm not a fan of onions on my pizza. Or onions on my hamburgers or whatever. I just Now I'll eat onion rings, but on a burger, no, thank you. That's just kind of like a deal breaker. Like All right, I gotta take this off right quick. I'm picking this. Your girl just sewed her pockets upside down. I So my pockets to the hem. But I did not serge it, so that's even better. I looked at the 11s upside down. That's basically what it was. But least, I'm fixing it before moving forward. Because I can't be having my pockets at the hem of my pants. Y'all. I'm telling you, it's always something. If you ain't using your seam ripper from time to time, you ain't doing nothing, okay? So when people think that I don't make mistakes, I be making these careless mistakes. Not like mistakes in the sense of I have to trash my garment. Nah. It's mistakes of just basically overlooking something. That's it. Nothing big. And I like to show y'all mistakes that I have made, because these are things that, you could see live or on a sew along, like I've been sewing for so many years, and sometimes you just make mistakes. Hey, it is what it is. We're not perfect. Ooh, Chicago style pizza. That's what's up. Chicago style pizzas are so good. So the other day, now I'm gonna be honest with you guys about pizza. I don't eat pizza a lot. It literally messes my stomach up. So I don't eat pizza a lot, but Wednesday I had a lunch with someone that's going to be starting to work with me, and we went to this pizza joint, kind of like a moms and pops pizza joint or whatnot, to support, a mom and pop shop. And one of the guys that I work with, he came along for the food, of course. It was funny because we get to the place or whatever, and he orders a meatball sub. So he was like, Rochelle, what you go order? And you know what I said? I'll just take a Caesar salad. I was thinking of my insides. I was not thinking about like, hey, I'm going to eat some pizza. I was thinking, I am not going back to work, and I'm sitting over at my desk like this. But yeah. Oh, man. All right, so I need to sew it this way. This way. Okay. Yep. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go again on my own. Where's the other pocket? So I know. What not to do again. And that's sew them upside down. Let me take the other pocket off real quick, and then I can get back to regular scheduled viewing. I can't do olives on my pizza. Now let me ask you guys this. Do you think pineapples belong on pizza? Pineapples on pizza, yay or nay? White sauce, okay. I heard of people doing that, or they'll do like a cheese pizza with white sauce. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I have never had a pizza with white sauce. So I can't confirm or deny if it's good or not. But yeah, every pizza I have had either barbecue sauce or marinara sauce. But you give me a reason to try it. Like, I'm open to trying it. I'm laughing because look, that is one of the things that they argue about at work. Pineapples on pizza versus no pineapples on pizza. That is that depending on where you live, it's like, nah man, don't put no pineapples on pizza. I'm gonna be honest, for me, I love pineapples. Not on pizza. No. I would eat it on the side, but if it was on the pizza, I would go ahead and eat it, to be honest, because, you know, it's already on there and I just don't want to pull them all off just to eat it. But if it's a pizza that I'm making, I think I would pass on that. I would pass on that. I think I would pass. But, so what do y'all think of, like, I have seen artichokes on pizza. Is that a yay or nay? Oh, these right here? This one right here? I actually got it from Hobby Lobby about 6 years ago. I always get asked about this thread holder. I got it from Hobby Lobby, but you could get it from Amazon. I don't know if it's still available on Amazon. Roughly about $19.99. And what I did was I got some spray paint, and my husband spray paint this one and this one over here for, well, all three of them right here. He spray painted them all the same color, and I just put my thread on them. Oh nah. Sorry, I'm with you. I'm simple. That's the same pizza that I would eat. Pepperoni, cheese, marinara. I mean, that's classic right there. A pepperoni pizza or a cheese pizza. I'm on it. All the extras. I would do a meat lovers. I would do the works. I would do a veggie or whatnot. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I would do a, what is it called? Hawaiian pizza? Yeah, I think I'm good on that. Um, what's the other one that they be doing? Oh, stuffed crust. That's a lot of cheese for that stuffed crust. Y'all eating stuffed crust or nah? I actually like the garlic seasoning on the bread, like the bread part of the pizza. I could do that. Ooh, yeah. Try Amazon for one of these. I think it could hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it could hold 54 total spools on this one alone. Fat city stuff. um, yeah, I actually like. So y'all remember back in the days? This is before Papa John's and your Marco's Pizza. No, Domino's Pizza's been out for a while. So y'all remember back in the days when they had like book it, where the kid had to read so many books during the summertime or the school year or whatever, and you get a free personal pan pizza. I think they really need to bring that back. Even though I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't eat at Pizza Hut. I don't. It's been well over a decade. My son have never had a personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut, so he don't even know what it's about. I think I stopped eating Pizza Hut when I was pregnant with my daughter, and she's 15. So, that gives you the history of Pizza Hut. But y'all remember when they had the book it, where you had to have a personal pan pizza? I'm just wondering why they don't do these things for the new pizza joints that's around now. But do y'all remember when Pizza Hut had that book it thing? Yeah, nah, Mo, I'm with you. Like, mm-mm. I don't do pizza because I'm telling you, I don't know if it's the sauce or the cheese, but I'm not trying to be at work going to the bathroom several times a day. And low key, I think I'm a little lactose because I don't even eat cereal or drink milk. And I'm a person who's vitamin D deficient, so I be walking in the sun several times a day and take vitamin D uh, pills because I'm deficient. So, with that being said, that cheese be best in somebody's stomach. And then they be like, oh, you know, you can eat eggs. Yo, your girl don't eat eggs at all. About the only eggs I'm going to eat is in cake, and I'm very, very picky with that because I don't want to be on the toilet. TMI. Mo. Oh, yeah. No, Like, I think I just have my bowels be irritated, okay? When it comes to like cheese and dairy products and stuff like that, my bowels are irritated all day. All right, so I took off the. All right, hold on. Let me get the right way the pockets need to go because we ain't trying to put them on upside down. All right, so that's the front. Now it's time to turn to the back, which is right here. So I'm going to turn this to the back and put the pockets on there and sew them down. All right, so I turned it to the back the right way that they need to go, and I'm going to sew both of these on. I just had a quick hassle of the pockets, and I was wondering what was going on, but I was so thankful I did not serge it yet, because I always check twice before you serge anything, so you don't have to be looking over there crazy like, yo, what's going on here? This junk don't match up. Yeah, you don't want those things problems either. Christy, see, I'm telling you, man. They need to bring like some of these summer programs that we used to do as kids. Bring them back. Because I'm telling you, now all I see nowadays for the summer, let me give you a prime example. So some states started this as of July. Your kids cannot have cell phones in school. Meaning that they can't use their cell phone at all at school. So what's the point of them taking it to school? Right? So I know Texas, Florida, California, and it's one other state where, like, I found this out this week during Meet the Teachers or whatever. They have the parents sign a document stating that my child will not bring their cell phones to school. If they do, it must be turned off all day during bell schedule or whatever. If they're in after school activities, they cannot use their cell phones still while on school campus. Like, to be honest, it's not that big of a deal, but let's be real. How many students going to come to the front office to use the office phone? Y'all gonna be sending kids back to their class when they literally say, hey, I need to use the phone to call X, Y, and Z 123, then y'all go be trying to change it to where the kids could use the cell phone. Or you'll ask them to text their parents. So I mean, like, I'm just interested to see how this whole cell phone usage is going to go. Now, my daughter knows better. She better not be using no cell phone at school. But, you know, there's ways around a lot of these things. Alright, so I'm sewing up both pockets to the side before working on this casing. Alright. And we had to fix that problem that I just had. And that's almost sewing the pockets to the hem. But I was able to fix it before serging. Alright. Other side. Other side, other side. Alright. Woo! See, like, the thing about, oh, Christy, you ain't in Texas, though. Right? Because if you're in Texas, they can't use their phone. It has to be cut off all day and in a backpack. They can't use it at all on school campus. And the bill was signed for Texas as of July this year, 2025. Florida decided to sign it when? Last week. Yeah. So that's why they had all parents as a mandatory meet the teachers. I'm like, why is it so mandatory? Why is it so urgent? I see why. We don't need your kid to use their phone. Okay. But how about we have the teachers not be on their phone during class or texting during the class and say, I'm sorry 50 million times. I'm just saying. No shade to the teachers, but I'm just saying, like, we got to lead by examples. Because you know, these kids are going to do and mimic any and everything they see an adult do. I'm telling the kid, like, hey, you can't use your phone in class. Well, while you in class and you got children in front of you, don't use your cell phone too. I mean, like, it's just lead by example. You can't just say, oh yeah, you know, we gotta lead by example, but you're doing the opposite. That's frustration to a child too, you know? Teenager, definitely go say something. Alright, so I went ahead, sewed the pockets on. I'm going to attach front to back at the side seams. So I'm going to stand up for this. Take this bottom. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, they looking good, y'all. All right. Actually, they look like a whole freaking sheet. Just playing. All right, so I'm going to pin the pockets and the side seams. I'm standing up for this only because it's not a lot of room right here, and I said it earlier, I don't want to go back and forth to the table. You guys can't see me when I do that, so. And plus I don't have the second camera hooked up. I'm leaving my GoPro because within the next week or so, I plan on doing a sew-along. I know it's been a while since I did a sew-along, so I plan on doing that. I'll share the pattern at a different time. I know everyone's like, what pattern? Let me make sure I got it. It'll be all right. Ah. I know you guys are going to like hit me up, DM me and be like, Rochelle, what pattern? I tell y'all when that time comes. Only because I'm deciding on fabric, so I gotta have a good fabric for it too. And it has to be from the stash. Alright, pinning this long pant leg together. Alright, let me see the comments. Shaw, yeah, I'm 100% there with you. Some of these adults need to get rid of that cell phone. Like, I work in a facility where these younger kids cannot stay off their cell phone. Like, you can't work every time. I wouldn't even say a text message come in. Every 2 minutes, you're grabbing your phone, either texting, TikTok, whatever. But I used to work in a building when I was in South Carolina. I worked in a government building for 12 years, and there is a no cell phone policy. No cell phone. So I got used to being without my cell phone for hours on end. But like my family and everything had my desk line. And I mean, like, yeah, we used to chop it up at my desk. Only because I had my own desk. I had my own desk, my own line, you know. It was great. Come to Florida, ain't no such thing as your own office. You in the mix with everybody else. Everybody can hear your conversation. So I will never, I wouldn't say never, but we not giving my whole family nah. Just call me on my cell phone. If I don't answer, I'll get back to you. Yeah. We're not doing that because my daddy is liable to say something while I'm working, and I literally will laugh, and I'm a daddy's girl, so he will say something crazy and I laugh, and all it takes is somebody to hear that phone conversation and it's a wrap. Oh, okay. So I'm sitting down for a second to pin this pocket and pant leg side seam of the pants on this other side, and then I'm gonna sew both sides together, and then should I try them on? No, I'm gonna put the casing in. I'll do the casing first. Well, I am gonna try it on first to test the length, as well as not much I'm gonna be able to do. If it doesn't fit, I'm gonna be real mad. I'm gonna be medium mad, not big mad, but I'm gonna be medium mad. So, all right. So listen to this, y'all. Y'all know I used to be a teacher. I used to be a math teacher. For those of you guys who didn't know. But I mentioned it before. I used to be a math teacher, and people thought I was wrong for, one, not giving math homework. I had a strict rule of you are going to be doing work in the classroom. I'm not giving homework. So I didn't get in trouble necessarily, but it was like, so I hear that you don't give homework. What's the reason for that? And my answer to a parent was simple. Kids can have anyone do their homework. I want to know what they know by doing it in the classroom. And it saves them time and patience when they get out of class. I don't understand homework. I feel like work needs to be at school instead of home. So when I said that to this parent, she was like, I actually agree with you. And I was like, most parents do not agree with me when I say that. But I mean, like, dealing with 7th graders, 8th graders, 6th graders, not too many of the 6th graders, because I only did 6th grade 1 year and did 7th and 8th grade for 2 years. I just felt like, yo, these kids are 12 and 13. They're like pre-teens into teenage years. Why in the world are we giving them homework? But then I get the parents wanted homework for the sake of learning. But what I've seen is like the kid would get an A on all the homework assignment. But then when it comes test time, you're getting a D or an F. Let's explain, what are you learning? And this is before the whole AI and cheating to get the right answers on your test. Yes, we all know about Copilot and ChatGPT and all those things. That was before that, in those days, right? And I was just like, you know how you know, like, somebody did your homework for you? So I used to do, like, on the test, if they got an F, you have to explain it to me. Like, how to do the concepts of math. And literally, you could tell, like, they didn't know the concept. So I was just like, I'm just not giving homework no more. Some students loved it because it forced them to learn. And then others hated it because they felt like, hey, I could just do it at home later on. Nope, you can't do it at home no more. And I've seen a huge, I've seen, like, by me not giving homework, people loved it. And people, like the students ended up getting A's and B's more frequently for asking questions and definitely, raising their hands. Me having that attitude of, I'm not leaving a kid behind, so we're going to keep going over this process until I know each and every one of the kids got it. So yeah, it was a good experience, but I got out of doing that simply because, like, I'm just going to be honest. Teachers, bless your hearts, but you don't get paid enough to be dealing with, adults. BS. Like, the parents is what literally make you not want to teach. That's why it's hard for schools to get teachers now. Okay, Christy. She said Wisconsin. I used to live in Sparta, Wisconsin. Like, very long time ago. My dad was in the military, and we used to live in Sparta, Wisconsin. Very, very cold up there. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Enjoy that cold weather in about a month and a half. Like, how do you not do your... You know what? My husband's like that. He never did homework when we were in high school. He never did homework, but get an A on all of his stuff. Like, but I will say, he has, like, this photographic memory, which is weird. Because I could take all of this crap off. It's not crap, but I can take all of this off, and he'll remember how I had everything and put it back. I did that out in my garage, and he remembered how I had everything. It was like, no, that was here, and this was there. And I'm looking at him like, I'm just trying to get stuff in the bin. You tripping. But, yeah. Okay, Dales, yes. Yes. I remember the Wisconsin Dells. I used to go to Tacoma all the time, lacrosse, Milwaukee when we were up there. Yeah. But it's been a very long time since I've been to Wisconsin. Like, we was up there like in the early 90s. And haven't been up there since. Whew. When I say that cold weather is what really make me not. I never seen snow until I went to Wisconsin. Like I said, I'm a girl from California. It doesn't snow in California. Yeah. So I was like real young. I was like 9 or 10. And my dad got orders to go to Wisconsin. I didn't even know where the heck Wisconsin was on a map. And of course, my dad's from Manhattan, New York. And he said, I got orders to go to Wisconsin, right? And we all trying to look at it on the map like, where's Wisconsin? Like, what? And next thing I know, we got there. He hasn't seen snow since, his early, I wouldn't say like 18 or whatever. My dad was like, at this point, he was like 38. So it's been like over a decade. He hasn't seen snow. We get up there and he was like, oh yeah, boy, this is what I remember when I was a kid. I'm looking at him like, I ain't never seen snow. Like, I don't have clothes for snow, none of that. And we was there for about a good year, like, it was like no more than a year, because I remember only doing one semester in school before we moved, not even a full year. And I was so happy when we got out of Wisconsin. No shade to my Wisconsin people, but I was so happy to get up out the cold. Oh yeah. Texas don't even really have winters. They hot, just like Florida majority of the time. But to your point, Mo, it's a lot of cheating that happens nowadays. I think it's worse now than than before when I was a teacher. And I think it's because now I could see a lot of kids using ChatGPT as well as Copilot to cheat for all their homework assignments. But the thing about it is, teachers are going to know if cheating happened or not because of the way that AI spits out output. Spits out like the answers. Like for instance, we use Copilot at work. And when I say I can't stand it, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. And the reason why I say I can't stand it is simply because you have to train it to talk like you. And I'm not training a machine to think, talk, and act like me by a lot of different prompts that you have to put in. So while yeah, it may be faster or whatever, I just feel like it may be faster and efficient. However, I gotta do too much training on this thing for it to start talking like me. When I could just type it myself, and sound like me the whole time. Alright, I'm finna be sewing with some air. Time for me to change this bobbin. get this other pink. Alright. Get this other pink in and keep sewing. There we go. All right, put this back under there so I'm not sewing through thin air. So I'm almost done sewing up the side seam so I could try it on to just test out the fit in the seat, which is the butt area and the hips really, and test out the seat area is what my main focus is going to be, trying the pants on. Stitch this part down. I got you on that. I mean, you gotta stay put. Once they graduate high school, girl, you gonna be like, I am ready to go. I am ready to go. You hear me? I know that's part of it. That was a movie. I don't remember what movie that was. But I am ready to go. I am ready to go. Let's do right here. Right there. Sew up the rest of this pant line. Oh, that's a good question. Where do you plan? Are you planning on moving back to Houston after they finish high school? Alright, so I finished sewing up the pant leg. I'm going to serge it in the pockets. So this is the front. This is what it looks like so far. I'm going to go ahead and serge it and then start working on the casing. But before I start working on the casing, I am going to try it on to make sure that it's not tight in the butt area. Okay? That's one of the main things, making sure that it's not tight in the butt and making sure that it's not tight in the thigh area either. So first, all right, and then the other side. All right. Alright, so I'm going to first serge the side seams. I know it's like, why are you serging the side seam if you haven't tried it on? Because there's no going back because I didn't already serge the pocket. And I added 2.5 inches to the hips. So it should be good in the hips. If anything, I would need to take it in, but not let anything out. So sizing it up 2.5 inches, made sure that I had at least 2 inches of ease. Actually, about 3. Almost 3. All right. Serge around these pockets. Ooh, hold on before I serge around this pocket. Let me make sure. Finish up these pockets right here. One side down, other side to go, baby. We making progress. And that's all I always ask for. Progress. Now listen, I know baby girl is gonna be mad that she doesn't have no pants, but listen, that's why she needs to learn how to sew. And I'm like, girl, you could do just about any and everything. She draws. She's very artistic. She plays trumpet. All I need you to learn how to do is sew. And I am going to now serge around this pocket. Oh, and just for context, I do not stand up and sew unless I'm doing a sew along. So when I'm doing a sew along, I literally stand up the whole time I'm filming and sew because I'm back and forth between the tables. But when I'm just sewing, just to be sewing and I'm not filming, I'll literally sit down and sew. Because my chair is super high, so getting up and down, up and down, up and down. When it's filming, oh no, we don't have time for that. We have only time to get it done. All right, so this is what it looks like so far. I kind of want to do the casing and put the elastic in before I try it on, because that's all that's left outside of the drawstrings. I am going to do the drawstrings later, I don't feel like I need it right this second. I could also do those off camera so it's not pressing. But let me go ahead and do the casing, which I don't even know what number I'm on. I think I'm on number, let me find the instructions. I've been working with no instructions. Dang. All right, Christy, I hear you. Keep her with the same kids that she grew up with. All right, so first things first, the casing, I have to make the buttonholes first before sewing them right sides together. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and make the buttonholes first for the drawstring, because this one I definitely want a drawstring to snatch that waistband. Now, one thing I will mention for pattern piece number 13, the casing, make sure that you put some interfacing on that area that has the buttonholes. So this is the pattern piece right here. And right here where it says front only, right here, you need to make those buttonholes, and that's where you're going to put interfacing on the wrong side of your buttonholes. Now, if you have not made buttonholes, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say I would definitely test out buttonholes on a scrap piece of fabric first before going all in to do it. All right, so now one thing I will say is I'm going to make the buttonholes, but I need to let it dry after using fray check. So I'm not going to open it right then and there, which means my casing. Actually, I am going to open it, and I'm just not going to be able to use fray check because I need to be able to sift my drawstring all the way through. I might be able to get away with it. We'll see. All right, so first things first, I'm going to put my buttonhole foot on my machine. And I'm just going to use kind of like I guess a ½ inch. Actually, you know what? Where's the instructions? I bet you it doesn't tell you what sides to use just to make a buttonhole. It just says make a buttonhole, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Yep, I knew it. All right, so with me having to make the buttonhole for the front, right? So I'm just going to put it on. I am just going to get like a 5/8 of an inch button that's in my stash that's just hanging out. I'm going to put it, and 5/8 is like kind of like a ½ inch, 5/8, or even an inch. I wouldn't make it an inch. I know this is 1 inch elastic that I'll be using, but I just feel like I don't need to do that. I'm just using, you can use like a ½ inch or a 5/8 of an inch button, completely up to you. Or you can use no button to make your buttonhole. But it looks like to me it's a ½ inch when I'm looking at the buttonhole. So I'm going to switch it to a ½ inch button instead of 5/8. And I'm just going to make my buttonhole. All right. All right. All right. So let me put the, and go to 44 on my machine makes buttonholes. All right. And I like to stand up when I'm making my buttonholes, only because you could literally screw this up if you ain't careful. All right. Let me get my white marking tool. All right. So I'm going to, I know mine starts at the bottom, so that's what I'm going to do. And I would tend to go slow on my making buttonholes. All right, have a good night. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And then I'm going to make the second buttonhole same way. Don't change nothing up. The only thing you need to be changing is where that buttonhole goes. I'm going to make the second buttonhole. Hey, Mighty So. Alright, so I have the buttonholes done. And if you struggle with buttonholes, I'm going to say use a scrap piece of fabric to make those buttonholes. Now, I am going to get my fray check. Let me find the fray check right quick. Ooh. And I'm going to put some fray check on that area and let it dry while I'm working on some other stuff. Now, that's the only place that I need button for, so I'm going to change out my buttonhole foot back to my regular foot. Alright, you don't want to forget to do that. I'm going to take my fray check, and I do this with anytime I make buttonholes. I use my fray check. This is what it looks like if you have never used fray check. And I just kind of like put a little bit on it and let it dry. I'm not finna soak it in fray check, but yeah. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and start working on the casing part. I don't know what number I'm on, to be honest. But you'll get my drift. Alright, so the next step is to sew right sides together. I don't know where the instructions are. Oh, here we go. Here's the instructions. Alright, so I'm going to sew the casing. We have some dots on one side. I'm going to sew from one dot from the top to the first dot, and then I think the second dot to the third dot, and then from the last dot all the way down. So I'm going to read these instructions. Yeah, I was right. I was making sure because that's what I did on my last pair of pants. Elastic casing, this many. Favorite pattern to do for elastic pants is Simplicity 1165, which is an old pattern, but I have a complete sew along for those shorts that I made, but I have made that pattern so many times. I kind of retired the pattern for now. I haven't made it in a long time, but I love to make 1165. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up some of these threads on the back of the front casing. All right, and I'm going to sew before I start sewing, let me make sure I go back to regular stitch. Hey, y'all. Alright, so I'm going to use 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. You go to the first side, back stitch, break thread, We are on the second dot to third dot. And then last dot down. Shoot. All right, so I'm going to sew the entire side that doesn't have the dots. I'm going to sew that all the way down. So let me just pin in a few spots and sew that all the way down. What are you guys working on? What are you guys sewing? Are you guys still in the spring? No, why am I saying spring? Are you guys in the summer sewing, or did you guys already switch over to fall? Let me know. All right, so I have that. I'm going to go ahead and press the seam allowance open. Undies, okay. Is it a Indies pattern that you're using, or are you using kind of like a base pattern? Tell me a little bit more, Shawnee, on the type of undies you're making. All right, so I am pressing this open once my iron heats back up because it's been on but not being used. All right, so while that is warming up, I'm gonna go ahead and not stall and make my drawstrings, which is attaching right sides together, one end. Like, I want you to cut 2 of your drawstring. I don't know what number it is, but what you're gonna do is go ahead and stitch one end. And it doesn't say what to stitch it in for number 15. I think it's number 15. But since it doesn't say, I'm going to do 5/8 on one end and then press it open. Basically one end like this, and then I'm going to press it open and then right sides together. I'm going to sew it, okay? I'll show you guys that here in a second. But first what I'm going to do is press it open. And then I'm going to do right sides together. This is the ties. Right sides together like this. And then I'm just going to pin. I'm not going to pin it all the way because I don't feel like I need to pin it all the way. I just need to pin it enough to be able to sew it. Or you could press it and don't have to pin at all. That's completely up to you. But I want to leave a good, like, I'm going to say like a good 4 or 5 inch opening in order to turn it right side out. So that's basically all I'm focusing on. I'm not going to pin it all the way across. That I'm not doing. All right, so I just have this much pinned. That's the center, and then here to here is what I have pinned, and then I'll just kind of like press it to keep it together and sew it. Now this is right sides together because I'm going to turn it out, so make sure if you're doing the ties, do the exact same thing. I'm putting that off to the side to finish up my casing. So what I have is I have went ahead and pressed the seam allowance. I have also went ahead and the next thing you're going to do is fold it. And you're going to fold it wrong sides together. So let me show you guys what I'm doing. Wrong sides together. Make sure you are matching up the side seams and the notches, okay? Now I am definitely going to, what's the word I want to use? Press. So after I kind of get it how I want it, instead of just basting it, I want to actually press it. So I'm just going to kind of pin it in place right now. Okay, birthday dress. I hear you. When's your birthday, Christy? And now what I'm going to do is go ahead and press this other seam open. And press this up. Or pin it, I should say. Pin it. And want to make sure that the notches, where the notches are to go, they are all sized up. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to press it before I put it on my pair of pants. So what I'm going to do is press the bottom in between where I pinned it so it could lay flat. Now I have to put a little bit more water in this iron because this iron is old. And I only use it for sewing instead of ironing clothes for school and stuff, which I have to do on Sundays. So my Sunday list just got a little bit longer because school starts Monday. Making lunches and y'all. That's why I like the summertime, because I only have to focus on me, except for the only thing I have to focus on kids for is dinner. My husband takes care of the breakfast and the lunch, so we tag team in the summer. But when school starts, I am breakfast, lunch, and dinner, really. He helps me with packing the lunches, but I make the lunches. And having a family full of picky eaters makes it a little difficult sometimes because they refuse to eat school lunch. But I don't blame them, because that school lunch ain't as good as it was when we had cooked meals and you had an actual cafeteria lady talking about, here you go, baby. Here you go. Here you go. You want some more? You want some more? And just slap you on some more food on your plate, on your cafeteria tray. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Alright, so I have the casing done. This is exactly what it looks like. Now I'm going to put that casing on my pants. But before I do that, I want to create the stitches that I'm going to need for my elastic. Now, according to step number 10. So here's the thing, what I'm reading. I'm going to read it and then tell you. For number 10, it just tells you to form casing, stitch along, stitching line. where the heck is the stitching line, right? So that was one mistake I didn't make. I'm gonna say, like, I did not make the stitching line. Now I could measure the casing, like for instance, I could measure to see right here. You might want to do this, but I'm gonna eyeball it. I'm just gonna be honest. So basically what I did was I folded the casing in half like this. I folded it in half. This is what I'm looking at. And then you have a roll of casing. So for your casing. So you're supposed to be making 2 lines, stitches. That's where you have right here. These 2 lines right there. Let's see if I could show you guys really good. Right here. Where it says stitching line. There we go. Let me focus it a little bit. Alright. So you're supposed to create 2 stitching lines. Now, I'm going to measure it with my measuring tape to see how far away from the edge it is. Simply because I did not transfer that stitching line. So for me, from the edge, it's roughly about 1.5 from the bottom, and then 2.25. So I think what I need to do is make the first one at a 1 5/8, or I'm sorry, 1 3/4, and then the second stitching at about 2.25. And that's because I'm doing 1 inch casing. So what did I say? 1 3/4, and then 2.25. So what I'm gonna do is where this edge is at the top, the raw edge, I'm gonna put it underneath my sewing machine, and I'm gonna go to 1 3/8, which on my machine would be the number 3. All right, so I'm going all the way over there, and I'm gonna start in the back, but making sure that wherever you had those dots at on the side where you had to leave an opening, you are making sure that you do not catch those. So for me, what I'm going to be doing is looking at the first one where the dot is, so all the way around, and then go to the bottom one and sew all the way around. Now you're going to be stitching where those 4 dots, I'm going to try to show you guys what I'm talking about. Those 4 dots right there, that's where you're stitching. So you should be making a stitch all the way around based off of where your dots are, but leave enough room to where you could get elastic in. I hope that made sense, okay? All right, so the first one is roughly at 1 inch. So I'm just gonna sew, making sure that I leave an opening only where that opening is for you to stick your elastic in. So the first one I'm going to sew all the way around. So I'm just going to put my needle where that dot is. It should be at 1 inch, just to be exact, 100% exact with you for the first one. And I'm going to sew all the way around. Yeah. Hey, Leslie. She said workout clothes. All right. All right, I'm starting to come back to the front part of the casing. All right, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49 50 51 52 53 54 55 56 57 58 59 60 61 62 63 64 65 66 67 68 69 70 71 72 73 74 75 76 77 78 79 80 81 82 83 84 85 86 87 88 89 90 91 92 93 94 95 96 97 98 99 100 101 102 103 104 105 106 107 108 109 110 111 112 113 114 115 116 117 118 119 120 121 122 123 124 125 126 127 128 129 130 131 132 133 134 135 136 137 138 139 140 141 142 143 144 145 146 147 148 149 150 151 152 153 154 155 156 157 158 159 1 back stitch there. I'm going to go to the second, third, and fourth one and do the same thing. Making sure that you leave that little opening that they have right there for you. You should have 2 openings, so you just stitch it in between those dots. So start at the dot, stitch all the way around. So I'm going to do the same thing for the last 2. And honestly, this one is lined up with my number 4 on my machine, just to go all the way around. Back around to the front, so I'm going to be going a little bit slower to keep my line straight, and back stitch. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over to do the same line, but I want to make sure that it's meeting. So I'm just flipping it over to see where that line, the next line, would fall. So I'm at the 3 line after flipping it over. The next dot is at the 3. I'm sorry. The next dot is at the 1. So the next one, I flipped it over and I'm at the 1 inch. I'm sorry. 1.5, which is the 3. The 3, not the 1. Alright. So I'm going to back stitch. And I'm going to follow that 3 all the way around to have a guide to go by. So I'm coming back around to the front, and I am going to back stitch here. And I'm going to do the last one, that dot, the same way. So the last dot is at 3/8 of an inch. And I'm going to sew all the way around. Now I will say, like, this part seems to be a little time consuming, creating 4 lines or rows of stitching. I'm heading back towards the beginning. I'm going to slow down and back stitch. And voila, we're done with those 4 stitches. And this is what it looks like so far. Okay. Four rows. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and put it on top of my pants. I don't know what number we are, but I'll get that for you in just a second. We are on step number 11. If you are following along in the instructions, I'm going to turn my pants right side out. Yes, I know I haven't tried it on, but I want that surprise for when I put the casing on before. Hold up. What the heck? Alright, there we go. I was getting ready to say, like, hold up, where's my pockets? All right, now one thing that I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to pin my pockets to the front. I want my pockets to the front, which is number 10, instead of to the back, number 11. So I'm going to pin that there, and then I'm going to baste it. So pin my pockets where they're supposed to go, and then pin the other side pockets to the front and not the back. Make sure number 10, number 10. Okay, here we go. Number 10 is your front, not your back. And for reference, just to make sure, before I pin them and baste them, pattern piece number 10 is your front. So it's just making sure, because you know when you start sewing so many different pattern pieces together, you could easily get distracted and forget. So I like to make sure. All right, so now I'm going to baste those front pockets. I really don't need the instructions, but just for context and reference, I have them close by. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to baste those pockets on real quick. Oops. All right. So I am just going to baste it like 1/4 of an inch, really. You don't need to like do more than that, I guess. I'm just basting at 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to use the longest stitch on my machine, which is a 5.0, and I'm just going to baste at about 1/4 of an inch across just the pocket to keep the pocket to the front instead of to the back. So you don't, I back stitch at the beginning, but I do not back stitch at the end when I'm basting. All right, so I'm going to do the other one the same way to keep it to the front and prevent it from going to the back of your pants. Turn it over, do the exact same thing that I just did for the other pocket. Now I'm going to put on my casing, so now I know what side is the front. So the front is looking at me right now. I'm going to push my sewing machine back a little bit. Grab my casing. Now I want to make sure that where my buttonholes are, that is to the front, okay? That's the front. So I want to make sure that the buttonhole is in the front of my pants. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to stand up for this a little bit. I want to match up those notches. I'll show you in just a second after pinning it. But I want to match up the notches and the side seams. So you want to match up those side seams and the notches. So I'm going to pin it and then show you what it looks like. And make sure you are only pinning one layer and not two, okay? So I'm going to pin there, pin the other side. Now I'm going to pin the side seam, and it's very, very crucial that you literally have it pinned correctly, because you do not want your side seams looking wonky, okay? And not matching up. So your side seams should match up. Your front should match up. The back should match up. Those notches should like everything should match up at this point. If they do not match up, you either cut the wrong sides or you missed a couple of notches or something. You did something wrong, okay? Because your casing should match up with the top portion of your pants. They should. If they do not, you have to go back a little bit and see what you did wrong. All right, so I just have it pinned in a couple of spots. I don't feel like I need to pin it all the way around in increments, okay? So I pinned at the front, I pinned at the notches, the 2 in the front, 2 notches in the back, and then I pinned at the side seams. Now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and sew this on. We are on step number, is it 10? I guess it's step number 11. I'm sorry, 11. So the first one all the way around, I'm going to do 5/8. The second one, I'm going to do a 1/4, but I'm going to serge it as well. All right, and then after that, all that's left is really to do the casing. I'm sorry, the elastic and hem. And then that would be it for this sew. All right, so I'm going to start at the side seam and sewing using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Make sure that I'm on a regular stitch and not the basting stitch. I'm going to go ahead and sit back down and go all the way around using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. And then, like, you can do a 1/4 of an inch afterwards, but I'm going to be honest, I'm not doing that. I am literally sewing this on and then serging it. Okay? Right. Dude. And you got to make sure that your fabric is not getting bunched up. You don't want those problems at all. Okay? So I tend to check like every couple of stitches, check to make sure it's not bunched up. Oops. There we go. Alright. Gotta go a little slow around this bad boy, but I'm making my way back to the front now. And I'm going back stitch. Voila. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and serge it, and then I already cut my elastic, and then I'm going to put the elastic in and try it on. So, well, after I go ahead and do the, open up this seam. So I'm just going to go ahead and serge this, but I'm going to make sure I just engage my knife. I just need to serge it to where the top is good to go. and not look crazy, of course. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Now for right now, I don't need my serger, but I'm not turning it off just yet because I am gonna turn it off in just a second. I'm gonna go ahead and serge the hem because I am just going to stitch it up like this. I'm not doing the double fold this time around because it's just like some, you know, relaxed pants, okay? So I'm just going to serge, so then I can turn off my serger afterwards. So let me serge both ends all the way around. Scoot it over just a little bit. So, getting back around to the front, y'all, we are in the home stretch of these pants, and so far I am loving them. What are your thoughts? Yo, Mo, I will be done like soon, and I will be singing soon and very soon. Y'all know the song. Don't act like you don't know. And you know what? I literally can't stand, like, on YouTube, you can't play music. I mean, like, in the video, I have to play, like, they call it YouTube free or music that you have paid for. I have a whole list of music that I have. Well, I think y'all know my husband. He does beats and stuff, but that's because he's been in a band forever. I've been part of bands forever and a day, which is why my daughter plays the trumpet. But yeah, a lot of it is called paid, you know, musical family. But here we go. This is what the pants are looking like right now. So now what I'm gonna do, I have already cut 2 pieces of elastic. I could go ahead and cut my machine off over here, my serger, because it's done. Bam, bam, she's done. Good. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'll go ahead and, it says trim down, but I serged it. It's perfectly fine. I'm going to go ahead and open up my casing for my, what's the word I want to use? What's the word I want to use? Buttonholes. That's what it is. Buttonholes. So I'm going to open up my buttonholes now. Where is my seam ripper? Because it should be dry by now. Where did I go with the seam ripper? Here it is. All right, so I'm going to open that up. Let's see. So I'm going to open it up in the front. Being careful not to go past the that area that I need to open on both. Alright, so I opened it up. This is what it's looking like. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Now I'm going to add elastic. Now I still have the drawstrings right here, but I'm going to add the elastic first. I'm going to get a safety pin. Now they asked for 1 inch elastic, but looking at the casing piece, it looks like the 1 inch is going to be too big, but it could fool me. I'm just saying what it looks like. But we will see. Yes, they look so comfortable. Yes, copyright free music, Christy. Can't be copyrighted, none of that. So that's why I'm very picky when it comes to like the music on the channel, because I mean, listen, ain't nobody got time for these strikes with YouTube. All right, so I'm going to insert my first one. I have to find where the dots, the casing starts. And I'm going to put it in. Actually, 1 inch works. Okay, I'm going to start at the bottom. I like to start at the bottom one first. Now, one thing that I noticed that I did, I flipped the, it was supposed to be right side together. And I did that. However, I noticed that you'll see it right here. That's supposed to be on the inside and not the outside, but I'm not worried about that because it's going to be elasticated, so I'm not too worried about that. It's not going to make it or break my pants just because it's not on the inside, but normally you want it to be on the inside. But I'm not too worried because it's elastic. If it wasn't elastic, I would have took this entire waistband off because I'm OCD like this, and y'all know that about me, that I don't like to half do things. So, but for me right now, it's okay because it's going to be bunched up. You're not going to see it. And now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, do I really need the drawstrings? I think I could just make it with just the elastic and not the drawstring, even though I cut them. We will see how I like them once I get all the 2 rows of elastic in. And then I could try these pants on and see how they hanging. how they are hanging. Okay. So far I'm liking them. I hear a lot of people say that these are comfy, so I just hope, I'm saying hope, baby girl go see them tomorrow and she gonna be like, Mommy, could you make me a pair? Nah. Yes. Y'all, you already know, Mo. You already know. That's that Virgo life I live. OCD. People that I work with be saying, "Oh no, you a straight up Virgo. You too OCD for me." Like, it's so bad every time I go to work. At the end of the day, like before when I get there, I wipe my desk off. And the reason why is because my desk is in the middle of, I wouldn't say like middle. Like, I'm amongst a lot of people. Like, we don't have our own office. So because we don't have our own office and I have one person next to me, another person on the other side of me, I wipe my desk off when I get there in the morning and then wipe my desk off with, Lysol wipes before I leave, right? And, somebody asked me, was like, is your desk that dirty? I said, no, it's just people put their stuff on my desk and I don't like that. And when I say people put their stuff, coffee cups, like, this is my desk last time I checked. But I always say, like, I'll borrow a desk. I don't literally live here, so it's called borrow for 8 hours a day. It's borrowed, so I do not put pictures up of family or none of that. It's literally borrowed. I treat my desk as if I was in the military, where you don't put nothing up because you know you're gonna be moving in like 2 years, you know. So I use the same thing at work. I'm like, oh, they like, I don't know nothing about you. You don't need to. So, you don't need to. So yeah. Ooh, this first row of elastic is looking It's looking so good right now, y'all. So good. All right, so I'm coming. Oops. You make sure there we go. There's the first elastic coming through. I need to make sure that I pull it all the way through. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm going to take this other end, kind of trying to get it to where I could get it on my waist, you know what I'm saying? Some people make it a little too tight, they can't get in it. I'm going to loosen it up a little bit more because I got to make sure the assets fit in these pants. So let me do this. What happened? This is only one side. What the heck? Did the other side go back? Oh my gosh, you gotta be effing kidding me. What happened to the other side? Yo. This is wild. No, you can't tell me I have to take all of this. Nah, man. Oh, here we go. Woo! Child, I was getting ready to be like, yo, you telling me I gotta go through all of this again? Sifting this elastic all the way through again? No, ma'am. All right, so let me make sure I hold this piece. Make sure that it's nice and secured. All right, that looks to be enough stretching and pulling and making sure that it's going to fit not only my waist, but it's not, you know. There we go. There we go. Woo! They're looking good. Yeah, it has to be just right or it's definitely wrong in my book, okay? Now, you know, sometimes things happen. I get it, but, you know, listen, we can't have it happening quite often, you know? All right, so I'm going to secure this elastic. If it's too loose, I can pull it out. But what I do know, it's not going to be too tight. I can tell you that. All right, so, and that's because I did add my waist plus 1 inch for the elastic. So I'm going to secure this with a zigzag stitch. So let me get my zigzag stitch. Make the couple of zigzag stitch back and forth to secure that. Now I'm gonna really drink on it, pull it, make sure that it's good to go. We ain't popping no stitches, but now it looks like it's too loose for my liking. But I'm gonna fix it, you know, to make sure once I get the second one in, I really will know how much I need to tighten one up. So this one looks a little loose fitting, but we will see. I do have a zigzag stitch in there to keep it where I need it to go in order to insert that second elastic. I'm going to now insert that second elastic all the way around and do the exact same thing that I did for the first one. And y'all know, for elastic pants, I have to do minimum 2 rows of elastic. I know many of you guys ask me this all the time. What's the reason for it? One, to me, I feel like elasticated pants look better with 2 rolls of elastic instead of 1. And then on top of that, for security, like 1 roll of elastic, I just feel like that elastic pop, what you gonna do? Just like Bad Boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when it pop on you? You know? So I just, for me, personal preference, I just like that 2 rows of elastic. It just works out better for me. Alright, I got something that's getting caught up to where I can't get through the side seam. Let me go back out for a quick second. Where is... We are still going all the way around. How do I get on top of this layer? Come on, bro. Alright, so put it on there. Nope. So this what's the name? What you call it? The safety pin is working a nerve because I'm trying to get it through. There we go. Alright. There we go. I got it. It was giving me a pain, being a pain in my butt for a quick second. Mo, how much did you get done with that vest that you were working on? And with the vest, I can't remember how many pieces, pattern pieces. But is it something that could get done in like a 2-3 day, or would you say, you know, I could pretty much have the entire vest done in like a couple of hours? If I was to do it like over a weekend. Ooh. these look so good, y'all. So good. Okay, so you was working on the front. So you doing the shoulders right now? All right, so I made it all the way back to the front. Now I gotta play with the, where is this safety pin at? Because it's playing mind games, Jedi mind game tricks with me. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna pull this through a little bit. Take this. Of course, it's gonna be a little bit big, but we could always adjust for the bigness, the bagginess, whatever you want to call it. I could always adjust that. I'm going to go ahead and zigzag stitch it a couple of times back and forth. Alright. Now I'm going to adjust these pants all the way around. Sides, front and back, all the way around. Don't be squared. We want to adjust this all the way around as much as I can for both layers of this elastic. You do not want your elastic to be tight to where you're doing this. You know, that's not cute. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit, you know? Don't try to make something fit that doesn't fit. Because that rubbing is not cute. Alright, so this one looks like it's good. Alright, I know that sounds like I'm being really rough with it. I'm not, trust me. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put you guys on a quick break with some music while I try these on and show you guys what it looks like. So, stay tuned. Hold on just a second.
Drowning in the lost emotion, crying like some kind of ocean from my eyes. But I got up out of the hopeless. Yeah, I got over you last night. Wasn't it easy to believe I would be broken forever? Thought I would never see the light. You didn't need me, so I went looking for somebody better. Thought I'd be sadder, but I'm fine. Washing my tears away, I watch my heartbreak go down the drain. My heartbreak go down the drain. My heartbreak go down the drain. I finally learned how to let go. I don't even feel the echo of your touch. I've never been so in control. Only love I need is mine. But wasn't it easy to believe I would be broken forever? Thought I would never see the light. You didn't need me, so I went looking for somebody better. Thought I'd be sadder, but I'm fine. Washing my tears away, I watch my heartbreak go down the drain.
Alright, so I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. Let me move this camera down a little bit so y'all can see. Alright, so y'all can see what it looks like. This is what it looks like. They fit. Super cute. I think so. They're super cute. I love them. All right, so couple of things that, like, adding the 2.5 inches that I added, it's not tight on the butt area. I like how deep the pockets are on these. Of course, I have to take off the excess elastic, which is perfectly fine. I just need to add my drawstring right here and hem it. Now, for these, I do plan on wearing these with heels. So I like the length. I'm just going to take the, well, here's the thing. I think if I just do the hem by 5/8, I can wear it with heels, but I can also wear it with tennis shoes. Because I feel like if I do, I think the hem allowance is 1 1/4. Let's see. I could bring the camera up now so y'all can see me. Oh, that's too far up. Hold up. We go get it right. We go get it right. All right, so. All right. I think I got it right. No, not really. But y'all get it. We'll work with it. Okay. So, just to bring my chair back and sit down and talk to you guys. All right. So, I think... All right. So, I'm going to add... I'm debating on if I want to add a drawstring to it. I love them. They came out amazing. Honestly, they fit really, really nice. It's not tight. It's super comfortable. The elastic is not tight on my waist whatsoever. Only thing I need to do, hem. So the hem is 1 1/4 according to the bottom of the pattern pieces. Now, for me, because I plan on wearing tennis shoes and heels, I don't want to be flooding in the waters, you know. So I think what I'm going to do, instead of that 1 1/4, I may either do 5/8 or 1 inch hem. But I want to put on the heels that I would normally wear. Like if I was to wear these pants to work, I would definitely wear like closed-toe shoes. So that's the plan there. Plan on doing that. The next thing that I plan on doing is the button-down shirt. I don't plan on doing the halter top right here. Once again, this is the pattern that I'm doing. I don't plan on doing the halter top, at least not this summer. I may decide to do it at a later time. I don't know. Okay? We'll see there. All right. So, Mo, let me ask you about the pattern that you're doing. You said that it's unlined. It's fine. I'm going to make it unlined. I'm not going to make it lined because of where I live. Yes, I love the sunset, Millie. Thank you, Christy and Shawty. All right, so listen, you guys. I freaking love them, okay? So I'm glad. I guess it was just time for me to wait. And this is a good kind of like, when you lost your sojo, which I didn't lose my sojo, this would be a great pattern to get back into the feel of things if you've been gone for a while. Now, I will say, when it comes to pattern pieces, I have all my pattern pieces over there, but let me grab the instructions to tell you guys. Now, if you want the drawstring, you can leave the drawstring out. If you want the drawstring, you are looking at 5 pattern pieces. If you want the drawstring, it's 5 pattern pieces. if you leave the drawstring out for pattern pieces. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. It took about 2.5 hours, only because I had to take the pockets down. I had to take the pockets down and redo them. So honestly, because I could really get this pattern done in 2 hours, I do appreciate you guys hanging with me for sure. But I will say that I will be putting this pattern in my TNT for some relaxed fit lounge pants. I can do these for lounge pants for the spring, summer, or the fall, winter in like a flannel or a plaid or fleece. Those would be good options for these pants if you are trying to like take a 4-piece pattern like this really and just basically use them all year long. So I will be putting this pattern in my TNT patterns for the pants. So far, the pants. I do know what the button down shirt is. So yeah, this is one for the books. Love it. Can't wait to really style it a couple of ways and take photos in it. I don't know if I would do that tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to get that done tomorrow, but I plan on probably wearing this to work next Friday and then take photos then. So yeah, what do you think? Tell me what you think. All right, so that's it tonight. I appreciate you guys hanging with me and welcoming me back to the channel. I mean, it feels like I've been gone forever, you guys. For those of you guys who's been with me since day one or just found me within the last few months or even the last year, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. It's great to be back. What can I say? It's good to be back. All right, so what's next for me, to be honest with you guys? What's next for me is definitely to sew the button-down shirt, and that will complete my summer sewing. And then after that, I am going to start working on my fall sewing within the next week and a half. And I'll be sharing that with you guys every single week, the pieces that I'm going to be putting into my fall, winter wardrobe, because I feel like whatever I sew for fall, I can wear for winter. And the reason why is simply because here in Florida, we don't really get a winter. So I'm just going to sew for fall, or I should say second summer here in Orlando. And then you use those pieces all fall, winter long and just add here and there where I need to. So that's the plan. I'll be sharing that with you guys behind the scenes, sewing it together, what that looks like. Pattern review will be a little different than my normal sit-down pattern review. I feel like that I should kind of share at the sewing machine, the behind the scenes of at the sewing machine, sewing it together, but narrate what I'm doing and kind of like give a pattern review that way versus the sit-down pattern review, because to be honest with myself, I tend to go through the pattern review very, very fast. And I know some of you guys asked like, hey, Rochelle, could you back up? What are some of the challenges or hurdles that you face when you're doing a lot of these patterns? So I feel like if I do behind the scenes, I could share at the same time, kind of like, hey, make sure you do this, make sure you do that, be on the lookout for this, be on the lookout for that. This is what happened when I, sewed it together. So be on the lookout for those things. So I think that doing a pattern review would be changing moving forward than my actual sit down pattern review looking where I normally look. But yeah, so that's it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed. And y'all know, go ahead and give your girl a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to that channel. And I will talk to you guys in my next video.
And sew my shirt.
Whatever. He over here still talking about his shirt. Your girl Lene is not here tonight. So anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I will talk to you guys soon. Stay tuned for the credits. Talk to you soon. Peace. Anyway.
They hate when you elevate. They stacking up losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate.